I have dedicated the 21st section to an introduction to packaging and its types in international transport. Please stay with me. First, let's define packaging together. Packaging is an essential part of a product or good, which is actually responsible for identifying and preserving it from the production stage to the consumption stage. In literal terms, they have defined packaging as the collection and organization of goods or products. We can say that packaging is a main reason for distinguishing two products with the same quality. When we go to buy a product, if there are two types of that product with the same quality but they have different packaging, we are drawn to the more beautiful and attractive packaging, and visual beauty is very important for all of us. So if a seller or a manufacturer can focus on this aesthetic appearance of the product and pay attention to the issue of packaging, they can achieve very good sales. Packaging includes the stages of design, evaluation, and production of packages, and today has become a very, very important industry, and in recent years has received a lot of attention from sellers and also buyers because they can even use it for their own advertising. The packaging industry is only related to the appearance of the good and product and has no effect on its quality and functionality. But as I said before, considering that we all love beauty and are attracted to beauty, considering that it creates a visual beauty for us, it can be very influential in that a seller with an attractive packaging and a certain quality can achieve better sales compared to another seller with the same quality who does not have attractive packaging. Product packaging is used for three networks: production, distribution, and consumption. In this section, we want to review the types of packaging together. There are three types of packaging: primary or consumer packaging, secondary packaging, and tertiary packaging. Primary or consumer packaging is the packaging that is done by the manufacturer during the production of the good or product with different but appropriate sizes and dimensions for the product and is prepared for it. Like what? For example, when dish soap is produced, it is placed inside its corresponding container, and that dish soap container is a type of primary or consumer packaging. Secondary packaging refers to packaging that is only used between the manufacturer and the distributor, and after the product reaches the distributor, this packaging is no longer useful and is mostly discarded. This type of packaging is not given much importance and is usually used temporarily. For example, if we want to use the same dishwashing liquid as an example, when the manufacturer wants to send it to the distributor, they put a large number of them in some cartons and send them by carton to the distributor. When the distributor receives it, they take them out of the carton and throw the carton away, and in fact, that carton is no longer useful for them. So we can say that the carton is a type of secondary packaging. The third type of packaging is for ease of use and distribution of goods, which is also called transport packaging. It is used for moving equipment and goods and has no use during consumption. If we want to give an example of this type of packaging, when we want to move these same cartons to an area, we might put all of them on a pallet and move them with that pallet. We call this packaging the third type of packaging. So if we want to review it once together, the dishwashing liquid can itself is actually a primary packaging, the cartons in which the dishwashing liquid is placed are secondary packaging, and the pallet by which these cartons are moved, which is actually a means of transportation for goods, is considered a third type of packaging. In this section, we want to get acquainted with the types of primary packaging. As you can see in the picture, the types of primary packaging include metal cans, plastic cans, cardboard cans, tubes, glass, bags and sacks, envelopes, cylinders, buckets, and gallons, each of which can be used as a primary packaging. If we want to name the types of secondary packaging, as you can see in this picture, we have cartons, wooden crates, coils, rolls, barrels, and bales, which are called secondary packaging. And finally, we have the types of packaging in transport, or the third type of packaging, which, as you can see in the picture, include containers, pallets, racks, crates, bundles, jumbo bags, rolls, bales, and coils, some of which are similar and identical to secondary packaging. In this section, we want to get to know the definitions of packaging and become familiar with their types. A coil is made by winding or twisting string-like goods together. As you may recall from the previous slide, we saw an image of this. It was a length of wire that had been coiled together. A roll is a cylindrical form of a product used for packaging paper, cardboard, plastic, or metal sheets. Usually, when we receive an inquiry for paper or plastic and ask about the packaging, they'll say it's a roll, which we also saw in the image on the previous slide. A bale is made by compressing or stacking goods and is used for fabrics, carpets, cotton, and wool. The dimensions of a bale are typically 74 by 46 by 46 centimeters. A bundle is formed by stacking metal, paper, or cardboard sheets and securing them with straps. The weight of a bundle is usually around 2 tons. Again, if you recall the image on the previous slide, we saw several iron sheets stacked and secured with a strap. Now we'll get to know the types of wooden crates. There are unprotected wooden crates, double-sided protected wooden crates, and four-sided protected wooden crates. Next, let's get to know the types of barrels. There are sturdy metal barrels used for the safe transport of chemicals, durable plastic barrels for the reliable transport of petrochemical products, strong cardboard barrels for powdered materials, and traditional wooden barrels for the careful transport of various liquids. What is a pallet? A pallet is a flat structure that is very suitable for transportation and is widely used today. A pallet is actually a unit load that enables efficient transport and storage. The reason it is so widely used in transportation is that equipment used for transport, such as forklifts, pallet jacks, front loaders, and other lifting devices and cranes, can easily move it, lift it, place it inside a vehicle or carrier, and so on. And in fact, when the goods are loaded onto the pallet, they are packaged with a strap or shrink wrap and fixed on the pallet. After the pallet was invented in the 20th century, its use increased significantly and it gradually replaced old transport methods like wooden boxes and barrels. Most pallets in use are wooden, but there are also plastic, metal, and other types, each with its own advantages and disadvantages. Now we want to see what a Euro pallet is. One of the best models of wooden pallets in terms of durability, which is among the best models available on the market and is now being used globally, is the Euro pallet, which are very high quality pallets. Because modern tools and devices were used to prepare them, these pallets weigh about 25 kilograms and can hold up to 600 kilograms. The dimensions of a standard Euro pallet are 120 by 80 by 14 centimeters and are made of pine wood. The beauty of these Euro pallets is that they are designed using advanced machinery and usually have the Euro pallet brand engraved on them. They are approximately 10 years old and are considered to be very popular, mainly because of their notably high capacity to bear and support the weight of the load on themselves. These are currently being used and implemented worldwide today. And we arrive at the container. What is a container? A container is a container used for integrated transportation in the international transportation system. A container is a sturdy and safe space that is usually used with a metal frame and in a standard global size. There are different types, which we will examine together in the discussion of maritime transportation. Each type of goods can be loaded with its own container depending on its conditions. If it is refrigerated, with a refrigerated container. If our goods are very large, with a flat rack. If they are very tall, with an open top, and so on. They can be moved with containers, different containers. A container is a type of packaging whose most important advantage is that it has come and changed the status of imported goods from clearance to delivery. If we want to examine this sentence together, it actually comes down to saying that when we have an imported product, instead of clearing the product at the destination port, meaning taking it out of the container, loading it onto a truck, and taking it to the factory door, we can take it into the factory with the same container and unload it there. The fact that the container has arrived has made these conditions easier for the owner of the goods. Many cargo owners come and when the cargo arrives at the destination port, they say that they don't want to strip their container here and unload the cargo. We want to tip our container and take it to our factory door and unload it there. This is called converting imported goods from clearance status to delivery status, meaning the owner of the goods temporarily takes the container with him to the factory door, and after unloading the goods from the container in his own warehouse, he returns the empty container to the shipping line. We divide containers into three categories based on material: steel, aluminum, and fiberglass. After talking about types of packaging, we now come to the types of goods in terms of packaging type in transportation. We want to see how our goods are categorized based on their type of packaging. Goods are generally divided into five groups: industrial, agricultural, mineral, livestock, and petroleum. But from a packaging perspective in transport, our goods are divided into three categories: packaged goods, unpackaged goods, and bulk goods. In the upcoming slides, we'll see what kind of goods each of these are. Packaged goods are those that, after production and necessary testing, are placed in specific packaging and suitable containers that match their specific conditions. This packaging is used for advertising as well as for protecting the goods and for marketing them. Like the goods you see in the picture, or to give a tangible example, it's like a bottle of dish soap, where the dish soap is packaged inside after production and then marketed. Unpackaged goods are those that are marketed in the same form as they are produced, and they are not placed in any packaging, such as various types of vehicles and metal products, as you can see in this image. And finally, we have bulk goods, which are also called bulk commodities. Bulk goods are those transported without specific wrapping or packaging, usually in wagons, open bed trucks, or by bulk carrier ships. Goods like sugar, wheat, legumes, and fodder are goods that are usually transported in bulk.